Our old-ass game.
Our old-ass game that we're going to cover, which is Mario 64. The entree into 3D of Mario games, of the Super Mario. That's how my grandmother always said it, Mario. It's funny.
Yeah, like I have a lot of friends from like New York and New Jersey that say Mario.
Yeah. And, my grandma was like country. She was, country as all hell, but it just, for some reason, said Mario. Don't know. It's funny.
Weird.
Yeah.
Maybe she was like a feminist.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What would that?
It's Mario.
Oh, I don't. Okay, sure. But yeah, Mario 64.
She believed in herstory.
The herstory.
It's not history. It's herstory.
I hate you so much.
We have a pro-feminist podcast here, okay?
Do we?
Except the part where we usually talk about dicks a lot.
Yeah, as I say. Well, feminists hate dicks. Anyway,
I don't think that's true.
I think it's very true. But anyway, moving on.
Whoa! All right, moving on. Jesus.
Moving on. So yeah, Mario 64 is that's a game that came out as a launch game for the N64. Correct, and
Barely made it.
Willow, will you please?
Just like everything else for the N64, barely made it.
Barely made it, yeah. Barely made it to shelf. Is that what you mean?
For launch, yeah.
For launch, yeah.
It was originally supposed to be like 6 titles for the launch of that thing, and 2 made it.
2 made it. It was Pilot Wings and 64.
Yeah.
Mario 64. That was it. Or Pilot Wings 64. Pardon me. Because Nintendo had the stupid habit of naming all their fucking 64 games whatever 64.
Unlike the 3DS gets everything like, fucking, here's Mario, go fuck yourself, 3D!
3D! Yeah, it's really stupid and dumb. But anyway,
Or fucking everything for the Wii was fucking, New Super Mario Brothers Wii!
Yeah, it's just...
Mario Kart Wii!
It's the worst thing.
You want to play Mario Kart Wii?
No one calls Mario Sunshine Mario GameCube. It's just like, if Mario Sunshine got one thing fucking right, they don't call it Mario.
No, it didn't!
I said if it got one thing right.
I refuse to admit that it got anything right.
Anyway,
that should have been a Wario game. Except instead of shooting water on things, he should have been shooting poo out of his backpack. Think how much better that game would have been?
So he would just be painting it with the poo.
Giving everybody fucking turnip head, it would have been awesome. They'd have been like,
Mario 64.
Yep.
It's a 3D platforming game. One of
let's see what I'm gonna let you do the thing for a little bit and see what you got.
What, me do the thing?
Yeah.
You're way better at the thing than I am, but
your turn.
But yeah, that's not how this works. I'm the host. You're the guy that has the Rolodex of knowledge. Plus, your dog's crowding me.
You're the guy that owned the N64 that generation, and it was his only system.
I did own the N64. Anyway, it was a launch title. It blew a lot of people's minds in the fact that, hey, look, it's a 3D game, which had existed before, but not really to this technical scale, I would say. I don't know. Is that true? I don't know. But anyway,
oh, trust me, I'll make corrections.
Okay. Well, see, that doesn't. Come on, that's mean. But anyway, very interesting approach to how they approach this game. Miyamoto approached this game with the idea first of making sure Mario is fun to play. And I thought that was very interesting about it. There is a rabbit in the basement dungeon of that game. That's the first thing that was ever programmed for that game, apart from Mario being able to run. He programmed the rabbit to run away from Mario and bounce away, and you can practice this in the basement. But that's what it was. It was him chasing a rabbit. They mimicked that again in Super Mario Galaxy and in several other games after that. But that's the origin of that rabbit. Is basically just a tech demo of him running through a field trying to grab this rabbit, and he added a bunch of different move sets, jumping animations, the sliding animation, the triple jump. All these were added on in that playtest just to make sure that trying to chase this rabbit and grab him was fun. That was his approach to making this game. It wasn't, well, we have this new platform now, and we need a Mario game, throw up a Mario game.
Which is what I feel like they do now.
Which is pretty much what they do now. I think the last time that they really looked at something as the system as it was and maybe programmed the system around the Mario game was the Wii with Mario Galaxy. I feel like a lot of what Mario Galaxy was programmed around, hey, how can this make a fun Mario game? And then they basically made a Wii out of it. N64 was interesting. The way Mario runs is interesting as well because the N64 has a weird little groove system in its joystick. Mario basically locks to a certain direction in which you're going, to fit into that groove system of about, 9? What are the directions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 8. 8 directions? 8 directions. 9. Yeah. Right?
9.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, 9 directions. He sort of locks in on that. That's something that's adopted later on into it, even more so in the Mario 3D games, the Mario 3D world, because that's all very a geometric type game. But anyway,
What'd you think of it?
I loved that game, period. I thought it was... I first played it at Babbage's when they were still around, so that was still a thing.
Are you sure I wasn't working at that Babbage?
You might have been working it. No,
I wasn't here.
You're my age. You weren't here at that point. Did you work? You did work at a Babbage's, didn't you?
I worked at a Babbage's and a Funko Land, and then we became an EV Games, then we became a GameStop. I worked at everything.
All of it. And that was in Corbin, yeah?
Kind of all over.
Yeah, okay, all over. Okay, there you go.
Lexington,
Corbin, yeah. All over
Hell and back.
All over the KY.
That's
all over
we're calling it.
Deep into the KY.
I've been digging deep into the KY.
Anyway, so I love that game. I played it at Babbage's. It blew my mind. It was kind of like, stepping into a world. Because I never played, any of the Sonic... I never got any of the Sonic CD... or the Sega CD games or anything like that, which had, 3D planes and stuff like that. I never played anything that was on a 3D plane, and certainly nothing that was this smooth.
Really? So you had never touched a PlayStation before this?
No.
Interesting.
Had not touched a PlayStation before this. And it was my first foray into it, and it blew my mind. I was like, this is amazing! Yeah, no, it just...
Remember when you were a kid?
Yeah.
And you thought... Bad games will never look better than this, bro.
Right, I know, right?
That's why whenever somebody says that now, I'm like, you are a fucking moron!
Yeah, I know, right? Because the N64, it looks like a living nightmare. It's all the games from that
It's like
era
living in hell.
just look like garbage. There's only a handful of games from that you can look at and go, yeah, it still looks okay. A handful.
Blast Corps has its moments.
Blast Corps has a few moments, I guess. Jet Force Gemini, not one of those.
Not a moment. Not even one.
Not even a single moment.
I don't know, when you're crawling on the ground, that's pretty okay.
That's pretty okay. Yeah. That Skybox, though. Mwah.
It's a little asshole.
Little asshole, you kid. Oh, man.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway,
Can I do the thing?
Yeah, you can do the thing. I love that game. I played the hell out of it.
Is it in your top 5?
Yeah, it's probably my top 5 games. I would probably put in there.
Yeah, this is going off topic.
My top 10, most definitely. It would probably go in my top 5.
All right.
Yes, do the thing, Hoss.
Mario 64, developed by Nintendo's Interior EAD division, led by Shigeru Miyamoto, released in North America September 29th, 1996. It's kind of it's not the original 3D game. The first polygonal game that I can think of that was entirely polygonal was probably Virtua Racing for the arcade.
Right.
And then there were home ports of that after that brought polygons home, and then the Sega Saturn could do 3D modeling fairly well, and that came out in '95 in the States, and then early '95, and then late '95 is when the Sony PlayStation came out in the United States, and it brought with it full-blown fucking 3D motherfuckers.
Right, yeah.
And it brought Tekken, and it brought fucking Soul Blade, and it brought motherfucking, Twisted Metal and all sorts of crazy Jet Moto and weird shit, and horrible games like Too Extreme.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is really the first time that somebody had attempted to do a 3D platformer and really succeeded. I mean, like Sony had a couple of games before this.
Yeah.
You had games like Pandemonium.
Yeah.
That
Pandemonium
were interesting.
Yeah, they were. That was an interesting game. They also had things like Bubsy the Bobcat, which was awful.
Well, Bubsy was a Genesis game.
Yeah,
Bubsy's terrible.
First of all, those first games are awful. The transition to 3D is probably one of the worst games ever made.
Have you seen the new Bubsy 3D? The ones that those guys ironically made on the internet?
No.
Whoa.
Is that just...
It's not since Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden have I played a more self-aware fucking game that I got into. And I don't know if you've played that. Spend your weekend doing that.
Okay, then.
It is a weird video game. Go check that thing out.
That is fantastic.
But back to Mario 64.
Yep.
So this is kind of the godfather of 3D platformers. It's one that's arguably for, the next 10 years after it was made, people still look to it to kind of define the genre. There were a lot of things that were still kind of harkened back to your like slide into crouch and then jump forward moves, like the vaulting forward, the the almost pirouette back jump that you could do, the back somersault,
the running back flip,
the butt stomp,
the ground pound, as every single one.
I'm over a butt stomp. Yeah. I'm too old for a butt stomp.
Yeah, every single N64 game, pretty much every N64 platformer incorporated the butt stomp, and it was always Z button every time.
Yep. But yeah, like this game is really interesting. Going from Mario design like you had in Super Mario World and Super Mario Brothers 3, and even Yoshi's Island, which is a terrible fucking video game that no one should ever play. Those games, given their 2D design, bolstered a lot of levels, 50, 60, 70 levels sometimes, depending on if you found all of the secret stages and Star Road and all that other kind of shit.
Right.
This game had 18 stages.
Yes.
But they found a very inventive way for you to be able to use that. And it's something that is easily looked at as kind of a fraud when done poorly. It's not done poorly here in all cases. There are a couple of stages,
there are a few stages that
it's just the same stage and they change nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing, and they just throw red coins in it and good luck.
Yeah, pretty much.
This one is very different. I mean, the sunken ship stage with the eel that comes out of the fucking wall, and there's so much cool shit as far as the design goes in a lot of these stages.
Yeah, essentially in each stage, in each of the 18 stages, there are 7 stars to get. There's 6 challenge stars. It's a different challenge each time you go in. Some are unlocked in certain ways, and other times you can just get it where you're off that stage and just get it randomly. And there is a 100 coin challenge star in every single one of them. So that's 7 stars per. So that's, what's my math here? 18 times 7.
I know there's 120 stars.
120 stars, that's it, yeah. 120 stars in that game. Well, yeah, 120 stars in that game. Some are actually found inside the castle and etc., which is the overworld.
The entire game took place in one contiguous world.
Yes.
So basically, you enter the game at the very beginning through a green pipe, and you jump out, and you've got this letter from fucking Princess Peach. First time they ever call her Peach.
Yep. Officially
in the United States.
Yeah.
There are references to Peach, but she is also still referred to as Princess Toadstool in other instances. But this is where the canon goes full force. That bitch's name is Peach.
Yeah. Because we always wonder why it was called the P-Wing in Mario 3. It's because her name's Peach. So, yeah.
I always thought it was
not
because...
Princess.
I always thought they were way into penis.
Okay, well, there you go. I mean, those
penis
wings
wing.
were... Penis wing,
That's why it's pointing up.
Is it?
It's like the Hustler rating scale. Remember, like in Hustler magazine when they would rate pornos?
I don't.
It'd go from like limp to...
I've never read.
Have you never read a Hustler magazine?
Never read a Hustler magazine.
What the fuck were you doing when you were 12 years old?
Just never bothered with that.
You never found a fucking dirty magazine in the woods?
I never bothered with mag porn.
It's like...
I just never bothered with it. I don't know. So.
The internet wasn't around when I was 12, damn it.
I know. Well, I don't know. Anyway.
All right, so speaking of the Hustler rating scale, I don't have a segue for that.
Okay, I thought you were going to give the ratings on this game. It's like the Hustler rating scale for Mario 64.
Full hard on!
Full hard on for this
No,
one.
but this is the first time that Mario is voiced. Charles
Yes.
Martinet. This is his first introduction. The entire game designed itself and was focused to be like one continual, seamless environment that felt alive. So even when you first start up the game, Big Mario head pops out and starts greeting you. You can pull his nose and poke him and all this other shit.
Poke him
and you basically, you enter the world, you pop out, it's a huge overworld, you walk in, and as you unlock stars, you unlock more of the castle, which unlocks more encounters with Bowser, which unlocks more encounters, and you earn these stars by jumping into paintings on the wall.
Yes.
And the crazy thing is, you don't know what's a painting the first time until you go jump at it.
Until you jump at it, because it's... they give you like a little bit of a hint with like a wavy effect when you touch one, but... You know, that first time you're playing that game, you're jumping at all the paintings, and they're not all warps. So it's like I remember walking into a room and going, "Oh my god, all these are boards!" And then they weren't.
no, there's like 3 in here.
There's like 3, okay,
but
it's fine.
Those 3 are pretty sweet.
What I thought was really interesting was the fact that in some of those cases, not all of them, the environment in which you jumped, the world you jumped into, was changed depending on how you jumped into the painting, which was very interesting to me. Because that's typically something that only comes in when like a sequel happens, you know what I mean? But there was a lot of forethought, like the water level with the rising water levels and everything. If you jump in at the highest level on the painting, the water level will start at its highest level. If you jump in at its lowest level, it'll start at its lowest level. So you don't have to hit all the switches.
Responsive design in video games.
Yeah, and then Cuckoo Clock Caper, whatever it's called, I think. You jump in at a certain time. And
it goes slower.
Everything's going slower at different times, or at 12 o'clock it's a dead stop, and the only way you can complete that level. With any sort of...
there's one thing I'll say about that game. It's... they got a lot of mileage out of a little bit of design. Like, you talked earlier about the way that they had sat down and focused on making this game be satisfying to control. The act of chasing an object. Your smooth movement through the environment being paramount to everything. And that's the one thing that this game has going for it. If Mario doesn't control as well as he does here, this is probably not a very good game.
Yeah, I agree.
And this is probably one of the last times that a Mario game absolutely nails it.
Yeah.
Because if there's one thing, like, I love the Galaxy games. I think they're nearly as good as this.
Right.
But there are so many parts of the Galaxy games where they just, by design, they have to take control away from you. Like when you're zooming around the universe and everything, you have zero control over it. It's just a light show to watch.
Yeah, you can collect the star bits, and that's about it.
And that's it.
The rest of it's just...
And, there's something to be said for really designing a game in such a way that controls are so much more important than everything else.
Yeah.
And, it's something that you only needed 50 stars to beat the game?
Yes. 70 stars to be defeated.
I thought it was 50.
No, 70 was definitely the mark. Yeah, because the last thing... Well, technically you can beat it with, 12 with all the glitches, but...
I didn't know those when I was 15.
Yeah, no, I didn't know those when I was 15. I have watched speedruns where people beat the game with 12 stars or so.
You ever seen the Japanese speedruns of Ocarina of Time?
Yes.
Where you can use the Deku stick and it tricks the game into thinking it's the Master Sword?
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking awesome.
It's hilarious, yeah. So you just warp right through.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. But yeah, game glitches are fun. But yeah, 70 stars, you can beat that game. Because 30 stars, you get 30 stars for the basement level, 50 to get up top, 70 to get to Bowser. So, yeah.
And I think this game is absolutely incredible. But there's one thing that I'll say, I don't think it makes my top 10.
Okay.
Just because I believe in fairness in an award structure.
Okay.
And there are 2 other Mario games that are already up there.
Sure. Yeah, 3 and...
3 and World.
3 and 1. 3 and World, yeah. And 1, right?
I don't think 1 makes my list.
Okay, 1 doesn't? Okay, yeah.
I think it's a better platformer.
Yeah.
And I think that World is great when you're not on Yoshi.
Oh, really? Okay.
Never on Yoshi.
Okay, interesting. Because you really hate that game, but
Well, I just hate Yoshi.
You say Yoshi, right?
Like what I like to do is get him and find ways to get hit at specific intervals so that he falls into a pit.
Where he dies. Yes.
Yeah.
People love to do that.
He's a piece of garbage. But yeah, like I don't think this is quite that good. But
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not being quite as good as the greatest game ever made.
Right, Mario 3.
You know, if there was a Karibo shoe in here,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would...
you might get me.
That
How the fuck have they never put that in another game?
It's really bizarre, isn't it? Like, it's like the only one that's been in.
It's a fucking dope ass boot.
Wait, weren't they in one of the Mario 3 worlds? 3D lands?
I've never seen it.
I thought there were. Oh my god. Maybe the enemies had it and they don't. And I could have swore like the Goomba with the Karibo boot was in.
Yeah, but you don't get it.
Okay, you don't get it ever? Okay.
Yeah, in 3D World, it's in it, but you don't get it.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, if I can't fucking hop around in that dumb son
The
of a bitch.
ice skates, that's what I'm thinking of. You jump on those big ice skates and skate around. But that's right. But you don't get the Karibo
You can be a cat.
Yeah, you can be a cat, and it's hilarious. But
I like being Cat Mario.
Cat Mario.
You know what? Cat Mario?
Yeah?
He's canon to me.
He's canon. That's it. Yeah.
But yeah, Mario 64, the one thing that I think it's really important to know, and I don't think this is being overly critical, there's about 5 games that matter on that system.
Okay.
Period.
Right. The N64 itself?
Yes.
Okay. And they are?
It's probably, and some of these are games I don't even like.
Right.
But it's probably Smash Brothers.
Right.
Mario 64.
Right.
Star Fox.
Right.
Ocarina of Time.
I would say, yeah.
Majora.
Yeah, Majora probably, yeah.
I mean, and you've got those assholes who will say, like, Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, but still, that's 7. An entire platform comes down to 7 games?
Yeah.
Like, F-Zero X is not as good as F-Zero.
No, it's not as good as F-Zero, sadly. Fun game, but not great.
F-Zero GX on the GameCube.
Yeah.
That's a fucking
good game.
That thing is fucking gonna give you a stroke. Holy shit.
That is a good game. I like that game. But Mario 64 is...
It makes this game that much more important. Is that this system was so hard to program for. Mm-hmm. It was so bad. I hate that controller. Oh. I don't like the way that all the textures on that thing look terrible. Yeah. The great thing about the PlayStation as compared to the N64 is that the way that their 3D processor worked, you ended up with like grody, grainy textures.
Yeah, yeah.
But the cool thing is, even in high resolution, they look dirty.
Yeah.
The problem is, the N64 textures just look like really, really low-res JPEGs.
Yeah, they just like...
all the time.
Yeah, they just slapped up on top of it,
Yeah, it just looks like somebody made a fucking shitty mod for Team Fortress. It's like, and now we're in Mario's world! Oh, great.
Did you Photoshop all these?
Son of a bitch.
Did you map all these textures to the pings you created in Photoshop?
I'm going back to DE Dust, alright?
Son of a bitch. But the thing about the thing I'll take away is like Mario 64. Looking at it now, it looks like a nightmare. It just looks like a freaking.
I think it holds up arguably more than a lot of the later stuff
than most of them, but it still looks very nightmarish to me.
Well, the thing I'll say is that because it was so early in the console's life cycle, they had less detail in their textures. Mm-hmm. So it up-reses better because it's more flat shaded than it is texture shaded.
Yeah, that's a good point.
In a lot of cases.
Yeah.
The problem is later on when they were like, we can do like fucking Toy Story quality graphics.
That is the term.
That one makes me sick.
That is the term of this podcast, I think.
But when they try too hard to make something like that close, but in that low of res,
right,
it just looks awful.
It does. It looks really bad. And but yeah,
did you ever like those Mario Party games?
No, I never really did like them. They're random. They would throw the random crap, and it would just like it would kill all of the skill in which of like planning out where my map's gonna go. The only map that I enjoyed was from. Shit, it was on the GameCube. Which ones were on the GameCube?
I believe it was 4, 5, and 6.
I want to say from 5. I want to say from Mario Party 5, where you buy the hotels. That map, that's a good Mario Party map. Because you can buy hotels and upgrade them like Monopoly.
Every game of Mario Party I have ever played ends the same way.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Kevin! Why doesn't everybody get a star, you son of a bitch?
Why'd you get that fucking star? God
Fuck
damn it.
this!
Like, who cares if you got more coins than everybody else?
And I throw an empty beer can at the wall and leave.
Yeah, like the only one where the strategy outmatches the rando factor of that game is, I think, from 5, where you buy the hotels. It's the only one.
This guy,
actual strategy.
This guy Kevin in my dorm.
So Kevin's real?
Kevin's real. He was a great fucking guy.
Oh man!
And he just wanted people to come hang out and play some Mario Party.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
And it would always end in a shouting match.
Why do you get the fucking minigame?
Fuck you, Kevin!
Fuck you, Kevin!
You didn't win a single goddamn game, and you fucking won? This is bullshit!
What's the point of the minigames?
I fucking hate you, Kevin!
Next day.
Going home, you son of a bitch!
Next day, you want to play some Mario Party? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I can get down with that.
Yeah, sure.
Let me go buy some beer first so I can be good and surly drunk and angry later.
Oh man.
Oh god damn it.
Oh boy. So yeah. Basically, Mario 64 was very specifically created. I feel like a lot of the
within the constraints of a system that couldn't do much else other than what it was designed to do for that game.
Yes, exactly. And that system was basically built to the way everything basically works in that game. The way everything basically works for that controller was set around that fucking system for that game.
If you wonder why almost every other game on that system looks like that game, it's because that system was built for that game.
Yeah, exactly. I think that game has tremendously brilliant game design touches on it.
Loch Ness Monster.
It has a Loch Ness Monster in it. The thing that I really enjoy is like when you come out of that warp pipe, you have an entire field to yourself before you ever go into the castle and do the story to just jump around on. They literally just give you a playground, like right there at the beginning. Just say, "Hey, just jump around. Yeah. Try the triple jump. Try the back somersault. Try the butt stomp. Yeah. Try all this.
Climb
stuff.
up this tree for a little bit.
Yeah, climb up this tree and vault off of it because it looks freaking cool as shit." They did that. They personalized the camera. They made the camera a character, which is a Lakitu. That may not seem very it may seem like kitschy a little bit nowadays, but for back then when like a lot of people, this is their first foray into 3D worlds, it's like that's an introduction to the camera, making it a character, saying, "Hey, this is how I work. Don't feel like I have to be crowding you. You can, hit the down C button and get a forward."
There were certain instances in that game where it felt like you were fighting it like a homeless person.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's definitely parts that are very infuriating to where the zoom out won't work, but the R button recorrection will. And it's like, why did that work, but the fucking zoom out wouldn't? It did. But whatever. That's
a launch game.
It's a launch game, and those things are few and far between. It doesn't break the gameplay for you if you haven't played this game. That game level.
Pretty sure most of the people listening to this have probably
played that. I'm assuming they have. I don't want any kids listening to this damn podcast anyway.
Who's Kevin?
Who's Kevin?
He seems angry.
He doesn't like that Kevin guy.
You should tell Kevin you're sorry.
Yeah. Level design wise, this is very, very tight level designs for the most part. There's only a few in which they kind of don't correctly do something. Tall Mountain is one of those to where like they put the first star at the very top of the mountain. So then the rest of those stars are you scaling the exact same things you already scaled in the first mission.
There's about 6 maps in that game that I can't fucking stand.
Yeah.
I don't like the goddamn ghost house.
Yeah, the ghost house, yeah.
It's fucking dumb.
Well, the ghost...
I don't like the ice stage. I never like an ice stage.
So both ice stages then, or
The one
mountain,
with,
or the
one with Frosty the Head.
okay, the mountain. Yeah.
I don't
the
fucking like that one.
The mountain one I thought was interesting because it's the only instance in that game where you're scaling down a mountain. In any of the mountain game, in any of the mountain stuff, I don't like the other ice level actually.
I like the one where you can throw the penguin off the stage. That one's okay.
Oh, that okay. So I apologize. There are 2 snowman heads in both of them. I forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big snowman head that blows.
Yeah, I like the one where you have to make the snowman head.
Yes, that's a good
And-
one. That's
yeah,
the one I'm
it's
talking
okay.
about. Yeah, the icy mountain. That's the one.
And
I like.
you take the little penguin and you throw him in the hole.
Yeah, a lot of people like to throw them
It's
off.
fucking great.
It's terrible. I know.
He's the last star I get every time because I'm like, every time I boot into the stage, I'm gonna throw you to your death, you son of a bitch.
Oh God, it's so terrible. But yeah, that
Like, well, I guess I can't get that one this time. Better get those 100 coins.
Rainbow Ride is one of those that I can't stand because it's on its own pace. You can't.
Yeah.
You have to wait for that stupid carpet. You don't jump with the carpet. The carpet keeps moving even though you're on top of it. You don't keep your momentum.
Best level in that game's not a level.
Yeah. Oh, really? Which
That
one?
fucking slide.
Oh yeah, the
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, the secret slide. Yeah. it's
Hell
pretty great.
yeah.
Yeah.
That thing's
Right.
fucking dope.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Yeah. You know, because of that slide, I used to think you could get 100 stars in the castle, but
100 coins in
yeah,
there.
100 coins in the castle, but you can't do it. Sadly, I always assumed that was a thing you could probably do, but I guess not. Anyway, but yeah.
Oh, and let's spoil the end of this game.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You get all the stars, you get fucking Yoshi.
Yeah, Yoshi. Well, he just shows up and says,
Son of a bitch.
he doesn't do anything. He just shows up and
Yeah,
goes,
like he never does anything.
He gives you an extra hit. He lets you kill enemies quickly. He has several powers when he eats an enemy. I mean,
Fuck him.
I'm just saying. I mean, I don't like Yoshi either.
You know what I like in the more contemporary games?
What's that?
Luigi.
Luigi, yeah, Luigi's all right. Luigi's good, yeah. But yeah, interesting bit of stuff with Mario 64. I like that game a lot. I think it's
I tolerate that game in a lot of ways and also celebrate it in others.
right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a whole lot else to say about it. You know, I like the power ups in it. I think the power ups are interesting. The caps.
If that game didn't exist, there's no Nintendo today.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, there would be. They wouldn't have anything to compete with at that time when PlayStation was just when Sony was roaring out with all their stuff.
Man, there was like this pace of like once every 9 months, Nintendo would release something that was just so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get it anywhere else. And it's like, God damn it, I guess I have to hang on to this thing. It's like, all right, let's see what this GoldenEye's about. All right, that's not a good one, but
You're like the only person in the world.
no, like everyone who owned a computer.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Anybody a PC Master
The
Race?
millions of people.
Yeah, the PC Master Race that nobody gives a shit
The
about.
millions of people.
Nobody cares about them. I say that now, which is hilarious.
Quake 3 is one of the best-selling games of all time.
You know what's very funny is that I say that now, and yet I only play like on the PC now because it's the easiest way.
I think we're gonna buy a Wii U. What happened?
It's just I just never.
You thought
bought
better
one.
of it?
I just never bought one. I mean, I might.
Did you
buy
think better of it?
I might buy another one. I might buy it eventually. Who knows? But I'm sure Bayonetta 2 and Bayonetta will be on some other system eventually, and I'll just get it played.
Well, Bayonetta is already on the 360.
Wait, it's already on the 360, but I'm just
Don't
saying.
play that PS3 version.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing about the Mario 64 I think we should touch on is the fact that it basically started a lot of trends through the Mario games that exist now.
And that's one of the things that I don't like. It's
Yes.
the tropiest trope game that there ever was.
Yeah, it really does.
I hate to blame the father for the sins of the son,
It is kind of brutal to do that, isn't it?
but like the mechanics in Galaxy that are new are very, very cool.
Right.
But the rest of the underpinnings are all the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, Mario Sunshine. There's the fucking water pack, but everything else is the same
Everything's
thing.
the same, yeah.
It doesn't affect the way that you actually play the game. It's just occasionally you have to walk up and go like, oh, I'm going to shoot my cum everywhere.
Yeah. Okay then. But yeah.
I fucking hate Mario Sunshine.
Mario Sunshine. I know you do. Yeah, but yeah, Mario 64, not Mario Sunshine. Mario 64, yeah, the way everything plays was obviously the template in which each progressive game used to in advance.
Almost too much of an agree. I would even argue the new Super Mario Brothers games,
right?
despite the fact that they're on a 2D plane, cling as tightly to that formula as everything else.
Yeah, well, they changed a lot though. They because it would break the game if you had a lot of it. The long jump isn't as long. The triple jump is gone. They don't even have the triple jump anymore.
It's in there.
Is the triple jump in there?
It's in there.
I could have swore they took it out.
It's in there.
Okay. Did they take something else out?
The wall jump's still in there.
The wall jump is still there. I swear in 3D
they added in
World.
like Big Man mode,
right,
and
yeah.
Super Small Mario mode.
Yeah,
but that's just suits.
Right, yeah, that's just the suits and stuff. Yeah,
like trust me, like go play one of those new Super Mario Brothers games.
Right.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, right, okay.
How ardently it sticks.
They took it out in 3D World. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay,
yeah, 3D World. They took out the triple jump. That's what it was. But basically, as you put it before we put on this podcast. After Mario 64 is the moment where no Mario game felt like a Mario game anymore, which it's hard to disagree with that. I mean, it took it to a different direction, I think,
all of them are still great games.
Yeah, and that to me, I think, is kind of inherent to Mario now. Anyway, it's just like that's what Mario became. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just and 3 will always exist. World will always exist. The first one and second.
There's a razor sharpness to those old games that it's kind of like to a greater degree. You look at something like Little Big Planet. The reason I'll never want to play a Little Big Planet game is because it controls like a sloppy mess.
Right. Yeah.
With no finesse.
Yeah. Everything feels like a sandbag.
And to a lesser degree, Mario softened up in the same way. Mm-hmm. Granted, to a significantly less extent.
Sure.
But it's still there.
Yeah.
There is a razor sharp degree of focus and precision that you get in those early Mario games that I miss.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not like this is all rose-colored glasses. I played Mario 3 about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? Still dope.
No, I agree. There's with the 3D plane and the 3D with a joystick controller.
I played Yoshi's Island. Piece of shit.
You're always going to get with a 3D plane and a joystick. You're always going to get those, the slidiness, the not as corrective, and you're not going to get as smooth a ride as that 2D directional pad and 2 buttons.
I would argue against that.
Yeah.
Super Meat Boy.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah.
Those games are as razor sharp as a motherfucking sword.
But it's 2D platforming too. That's what I mean.
Yeah, and they make 2D platforming games that control like fucking 3D platforming games, and that's what I don't like.
It's true. Very true. Yeah. It's kind of like they don't want to alienate the people who play the 3D games with something that doesn't feel the same way.
Well, whenever they make those fucking new Super Mario Brothers games, like, granted, when the first one came out, I was the guy in the corner saying, like, they should just call this Super Mario Brothers 4 or Super Mario Brothers 5, depending on if you believe Mario World.
Was it 4?
It was 4. Yeah. In Japan, it's called 4.
It's called 4, yeah.
I was one of the people that was saying you should just call this Super Mario Brothers fucking 4 or 5 or whatever.
Right.
And I take it back.
Yeah.
I take it back.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
It's not
those in
games. That lineage.
Yeah, it's not in those games. I agree. It's more in the lineage of Galaxy and
these the modern new Super Mario Brothers games are made for
a complete.
Like almost everybody who comes in is like, hey, I got my kids a Wii, and I used to really love Mario. Do you have something that's like the old Mario?
Yeah.
It's for people who want something like what they liked before,
right?
But don't care that it's not exactly what they liked before,
right? Yeah.
And that's the thing is that like I'm still the guy who liked what I liked before,
yeah.
And please, sir, can I have some more?
Can I have more of that? Actually,
yeah. I would enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of retread with these games as well, with a lot of nostalgia factor. I think that's just in the marketing of what we're at now anyway. A lot of reuse of things. Power-ups got more boring. They started reintroducing the same power ups. But
The last good power up,
yeah,
bee suit.
bee suit.
He was adorable as a bee suit.
Bee suit. I like Cloud Suit from Galaxy.
I didn't like Cloud
You don't like Cloud Suit? Cloud Suit was interesting to me because
He wiggled his butt when he walked.
he did wiggle his butt when he walked.
It was adorable.
Cat Mario's okay though. He's all right. He's okay.
I liked Cat Mario more, like in theory, and then when I actually played it, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think this is very fun.
He can climb things.
Mario 3D World's a great game, though.
Yes,
Like,
it is. Yes.
It's probably the best Mario game since Galaxy.
Galaxy. Yeah.
And there's an argument that could be made that it's as good as that, so it's of the best since 64.
Sure.
There's something about 3D World that I really like, and it's a real fucking shame that almost nobody's ever going to play it.
Yeah.
3D Land was great,
Right, yeah.
on the 3DS.
3DS.
That game's fantastic,
Yeah.
but 3D World
Yeah.
fixes everything you'd ever want them to fix. It blows the scale out a lot more. It does the 4-player stuff, which, unlike the new Super Mario Brothers games that were 4 players, it actually works really well.
Right.
Because the environments are built to deal with 4 people.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like, I don't know, fuck, I'm stepping on Susan. Susan, sorry.
Susan, what are you doing?
Nobody popped Susan's bubble. Fuck her.
The chaos that ensues on 4-player in 3D Mario.
Yeah,
World.
real, like, that's one thing I would like to do for the site sometimes. 4-player
Mario World? All
Just
right.
get a couple of people over and let's
Fuck
just
yes.
scream at them for
Let's
a while.
do that. Let's do that. Yeah, I think that's a good place to stop. It's definitely, it's definitely a great game, but I think you're right. It started a lineage of degradation. It just started to degrade as it went along when they
and
couldn't get
arguably,
away from the trope.
Some of the things that I didn't like in this, the seeds were sown in Mario World. Mm-hmm. The other issue that I have is the fucking stars.
Yeah, right.
I don't like the fact that there are fucking 5 exits in every fucking world, and despite the fact that you have 70 fucking goddamn stages, I have to go back and play every single one like 5 fucking times.
Yeah.
Like, something about that to me is like,
Yeah,
I just don't like it.
Right.
Like, Mario 3 had a billion exits to most of its stages and cool fucking hidden shit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't required.
No. Yeah.
And it didn't affect the outcome.
Yeah, I agree.
Or your ability to see content.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of my issue, is that that's where they started cordon-offing content.
Yeah.
Through the use of stars, and maybe I'm alone in that. I just don't like it.
Yeah. Didn't Galaxy offer up an option to not have to do that to get through more of it? You paid, or Galaxy 2.
You could buy stars in Galaxy.
You could buy stars in Galaxy if I remember.
It still wouldn't get you over the hump, but if you had like 49 and you need 50 to go to the next thing,
right? Yeah,
and you had enough star bits, you could just
pay for that. Yeah. Well, there you go. But yeah,
you just walk over to that lady and like shove dollars in her ass or whatever, and you're like, "Give me a star, you bitch."
Give her a star, whatever. But yeah, I think that's a good place to end on this one. So, Mario 64. It's not Mario 3, but it's really good.